Hi dear students, happy to get back to all of you once again. I hope that you are having a great day, and I hope this week will begin with a great week. So let's just get started with our next chapter, which is the third P under the marketing mix, that would be place, or another name for it is distribution. So this is what we are going to look at today. So let's just look at what would be the learning outcome, or what you are expected to take back after the end of this topic. So for this topic, I'm going to separate the topic into two sessions. So now I'm going to go into the first session, where under the first session we will look into distribution channel and the importance of it, and we will look into the types of distribution channel as well. Okay, and then in the second part of this chapter, the second session, we will look at the channel intensity and also intermediaries. Okay, so this is, I would say, a little bit longer chapter with a lot of informations for you to digest. So pay close attention, and you will have few questions from this chapter for your section A and also your section B. So this chapter, of course the other chapters are important, but you can pay close or extra attention for this chapter. So this chapter is what we are going to learn altogether about distribution, which means where you want to sell your products. So let's just recap a little bit. If you look at our previous chapter, we have already looked into product. So we already look into the items that we're going to sell. Then we already look into the price. Okay, you already set the item, you already set the price. Okay, like types of price and how you can set your pricing and all that. So this chapter we are going to look into where you want to sell your product, which intermediaries, whether you want to sell it straight or you want to sell it using middle person. But of course, this chapter about distribution means we will be using middle person to help us, or to help a business to sell off its product. Okay, so the middle person, there are few middle person, or there are numbers of middle person that we are going to look into one by one. But before we go into the numbers of middle person, of course we need to know what is a distribution channel first of all. So if you look at the definition, the distribution channel means it is actually a marketing channel or a marketing platform which is set of independent organization which works independently, okay, that involved in the process of making a product or service available to the customer. So here in this game, we are having manufacturer. Okay, you have to know the difference. Okay, you have to know, or you have to distinguish between a manufacturer and also a distributor. So there will be few terms in this chapter where you have to digest and you have to know the difference, else you will get a little bit confused. That's why I say pay close attention. Of course, I'm not threatening you, but I just want you to know there will be different forms in this chapter. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so a distribution channel means it is an independent organization which work as a middle person that make the product or service available to the customer from the manufacturer. Manufacturer means the business or the people who produce the product, who build the product, that is manufacturer. Whereas distributor means is a middle person who will help to bring the product from the manufacturer to the customers or consumers like us. Okay, so distribution channels are used to move the customer towards the product. Okay, of course customers cannot buy the product straight away from manufacturer who manufactures, who produces the product. So they need to have certain channels or different channels where the product can be easily accessible to them. Okay, so that is distribution channel. So this is the image where for you to get a clear picture the difference or how exactly a distribution channel works. So if you see here, manufacturer, so manufacturer is the person or is the organization or a group of people who produces the product, who build the product. They use all the input, okay, and then they come out with a product. So from the manufacturer we will have distributor. So distributor, what they will do, they will get the items from the manufacturer, and then they will collect it, they will sell it to retailers. You see, retailers, you see, distributors, sorry for that, distributors, they don't straight away sell the product to the customer or the end user, but what they will do, they will work as a middle channel between the manufacturer and also retailer. So they will buy from the manufacturer and then they will give it to the retailer, sorry, they will sell it to the retailer, that's the proper word, they will sell it to the retailer and retailers will sell it to the consumer. So when consumers, they want to get certain product, they cannot straight away go to the manufacturer, instead they have to go to the retailer. But distributors, what they would do, but you can ask me, Miss, distributors, they are taking things, they are taking the items, they are buying the items from manufacturer, why don't distributors sell straight? Sorry, why distributors can't sell straight to the consumers? Isn't it they will get more profit rather than going to retailers? Okay, to answer that, okay, this question might be in some of your mind. So to answer that, distributors, they will buy the product from manufacturer in bulk. Bulk means in a big amount, in a large units, and then they will repack it into smaller units, then only they will sell it to retailers into smaller units, where when they sell it to retailers, they will mark up the price, they will increase the price a little bit more, and then they sell it to retailers so that they can get the profit. So remember why consumers generally cannot straight away buy from distributors, because distributors, they will buy from the manufacturer in a bigger amount, in bulk, and then they will break down the bulk, they will pack into smaller size or smaller packs, and they sell it to retailer, and then it is easier for consumers to buy it from the retailer. Got it? Because consumers like us, the units of products that we will buy or items that we will buy, like 1 unit, 2 units, 5 units, like that, where we don't buy in bulk. So that's why you cannot get the item straight away from distributor, instead you need a retailer. Got it, guys? So this is the distribution channel. So in short, a distribution channel means a chain of business or intermediaries through which a good or services passes until it reaches the final buyer. Okay, and this distribution channels, okay, distribution channels, they involve or include of wholesalers, retailers, distributors, and even internet is now considered as a part of distribution channel, because they work as a middle person. So now let us look at the importance of distribution channel, why a particular business need to have a distribution channel, a middle person. So if you look at the first importance of distribution channel, it make desired product available. Okay, so it make the desired product available for whom? For consumers. Consumers are end users. Okay, so of course it's not easy, or sometimes it's not easy to go through the process to get the item straight away from manufacturers. Manufacturers might want to focus on the other plans or other departments after they produces the product, so they will actually hand over the job to the distributor, so that the distributor will make it easier. They will break down the bulk, they will pack in a smaller pack, and they sell it to retailers, which will make the product easier and it is reachable to the customer, make desired product available to the consumers. Okay, and then increase the efficiency of product flow from producer to consumer. You see, another name for manufacturer is producer. So whenever I use manufacturer or producer, then you should know it carries the same meaning. Okay, so it increases the efficiency of product flow from the producer to the consumer. Okay, why the product flow from producer to consumer? The distribution channels, they can perform many functions. Okay, so when all these functions they combine together, they can actually smooth down the product flow from the manufacturer to the end user. Okay, next, another importance of distribution channel is transportation and storage of product. Okay, if you look at distribution channels, they perform many functions like transportation, storage, selling, advertising. So they make it easier, they make the producers, the manufacturers life easier. Transportation, of course, they can transport the product from the manufacturer to the retailers. Storage, okay, you see, this kind of distributors, normally they will have warehouse where they can buy items in a big amount in bulk, and then they can store it in their warehouse. So whenever there is a need from the retailers will get the need from the consumer, and then retailers will inform the distributor, and then distributor will break down the bulk, and then they will distribute to the retailer the units that the retailer needs. Okay, so they will assist in transportation, storage of the product, and sometimes distributors even involve in the promotional activities to promote the product and sell to the consumers. Okay, so by doing this, by doing this, what can the manufacturers be benefit of? Okay, you see, manufacturers, they are large manufacturing companies. Normally large manufacturing companies, they will have this product flow from distributor to retailer. So why don't manufacturers straight away sell? As I mentioned earlier, manufacturing company, especially the large manufacturing companies, they will produce the product, and then they want to focus on the other parts of the business, which can help them to reduce the cost and the time that is required to reach their target market, or to reach their consumers. So they can use that particular time and energy into different business elements. That's why a distribution channel is very much important. Okay, so a distributors also will, as I mentioned earlier, they can offer promotion, and they can also offer financial support to the retailers. Okay, so at the end of the day, these distribution channels make the purchase process easier for customers and also manufacturers by being the middle person. So these are the four importance of distribution channels that you need to know. Okay, so got it? I hope you can follow me. Okay, the next part we're going to look at is types of distribution channel. So there are three types of distribution channel, which is the first one for consumer goods. Consumer good means for end users like us, where we would not, end users means we buy product and we buy for our own consumption. We don't buy to process and resell it. Whereas for business to business goods, they buy from a manufacturer, they buy from a distributor, and then they resell it to the other components. And next type of distribution channel is for service. Okay, so for service also we do have middle person who will help to get the service reach the potential customers. Okay, so let's look at some example of words where you need to know. First of all is the producer. Okay, So the producer is actually the manufacturer. Okay, as I mentioned, it gives company a control over customer and they gain higher profit, especially if it's a small business. If producers, they sell it directly to consumers. Okay, remember, normally small business, they will produce the product and they will directly sell to the consumers. Okay, they don't use middle person. Okay, why? For small business, why? Because it gives the company control over the customer, and since it's a small business, they can gain higher profit by not using any middle person. Because when you use middle person, you have to sell your items for a cheaper rate to the middle person, so that the middle person can mark up in the market. But if you straight away sell it to consumers, then you don't need to sell it at a lower price. You can even mark up a little bit more. Okay, the next, from producer, you want to go to retailer, then to consumer straight, where you don't use distributor here. So in such situation, distributors and wholesalers, they are totally being cut out from the business, where the manufacturer will directly sell to the retailer and the retailer will directly sell to consumer. Okay, so when you do that, okay, companies normally, large companies, they will sell straight to retailers, like Dell company. Okay, they don't use distributor, instead they straight away sell it to retailers. Okay, next we can see another type of a distribution channel, which is the consumer good channel. Would be from producer, you sell it to retailer, sorry, from producer you sell it to distributor, and then to retailer, to consumer. So this will be the flow, some of the flow. Okay, that would be for consumer good. For whereas for business to business goods, normally business to business, you will sell it from producer, you will sell it to distributor, and then you will sell it to your business customer. And for service, normally from service provider, which is the producer, you will straight away sell it to consumer or business customer. Okay, so these are the three types of distribution channel. Don't get confused. If you're confused, please ask me once again which part that you need more explanation. I will explain to you. Okay, let's look at some of the description. Okay, like middleman means any intermediaries between the manufacturer and also the end user in the market. End user are the consumers like us. Agent or broker is any intermediary with legal authority to act on behalf of the manufacturer. Okay, normally if you have like properties, normally properties will have agents and brokers. Insurance companies will have agents and brokers. Wholesaler is an intermediary who sell to other intermediaries, usually a retailer. Okay, a retailer is an intermediary who sell to consumers. Retailers, they don't buy in bulk, they don't break down, they will buy in a smaller pack and then they sell it to the consumer. Distributors, normally they are the intermediaries who perform varieties of functions. Okay, like they do selling, they look into the financial, okay, and then they maintain inventories, they do storage. So this is distributor. Whereas dealer is even more imprecise term that can mean that same as distributor, retailer, wholesaler, and so forth. Okay, for this particular session or topic, the most important people that we will be looking at is wholesaler, retailer, and distributor. So these are the three elements that we will be looking at. Okay, of course we will look at agent and broker, but a little bit of the chapter only. Okay, and middleman, of course, all these retailer, distributor, wholesalers, they work as a middleman. Okay guys, dealer we don't look into this chapter, just you need to know. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, the functions performed by marketing intermediaries. Okay, so these marketing intermediaries is the wholesaler, or more precise is the distributors. Okay, let's just keep it as distributors. So distributors, they have three main functions. Okay, they have three main functions. The first function is transactional function. So transactional function means they purchase the product, okay, and then they resell as an agent. Okay, as I mentioned just now, they purchase the product from the producer, the manufacturer, they break down the bulk and then they resell it to retailers. Okay, they sorry. So contacting under the selling, contacting potential customers, promoting product and soliciting orders, as I mentioned just now. They even do, distributors even do promotional activities. And then risk taking. So if you look at distributors, they are the risk taker. Why? Because they buy the inventory, they buy the items from the producer, they store it in their warehouse. Any damages happen, any discrepancies happen in the product, any error happen in the product, it is the risk of the distributor. They cannot put the risk on the manufacturer because they already totally bought from the manufacturer in a bigger amount and they store it in their warehouse. So anything happen in the warehouse, any damages happen thereafter, it should be totally the distributors, under the distributor's responsibility. They cannot be blaming the manufacturer. So that's why they are the risk taker. Okay, next we are going to look into the logistic function. The logistic function, what happened to my screen today? Okay, the logistic function of distributor. Okay, marketing intermediaries, another name for them is distributor. Okay, so the logistic function is assorting. Okay, so assorting is where you are creating product assortments from several sources to serve customers, which means you buy from a different producers and then you have assortment of product, you have different types of product. Let's say if you're a cloth distributor, okay, so you buy clothes from different manufacturers and then you have assortment of clothes. Okay, so they do assorting. Storing, as I mentioned just now, storing is where they buy the product from the manufacturer and then they store it in their warehouse. Sorting means you buy in large quantity and then you break down, okay, where you break into a smaller amount desired by your customer. And then you even do transporting under the logistic function. Distributors will even do transporting where they physically move product from the producers to the consumers. So they buy from producers, they break down the bulk and then they give it to the retailers, they send it to retailers. Okay, so they do transporting as well. Okay, so the third function of distributors are facilitating function. So facilitating function means where they help retailers, especially in terms of financing. Okay, let's say retailers buy from distributor. So what this distributor will say, okay, you see, you take 1,000 units or 10,000 units of this product, I will extend your credit to customers. It means like I give you credit term, you can pay me back within a month or 2 months or within 3 months or within 90 days. So distributors, they aid in financial, okay, and then they do or they even function under the grading where they do inspect, they test and they judge the products after they bought over from the manufacturer. Okay, where they want to see whether the product is according to the quality or not. If it's not according to the quality, they might return it back to the manufacturer because this can actually damage the distributor's name. So they even do the inspecting and testing of the product as well. Marketing information and research. So they, as a distributor, they have this responsibility to provide information to customers and suppliers, okay, sorry, including competitive conditions and trends. So once they already purchase the item from the producer or the manufacturer, they will need to provide the information to the customers and the suppliers, okay, about the product information, how does the product work and all that, okay. So they even aid in the marketing information and also research, okay. They even do some promotional activities as well. Guys, this is important. So these are the primary functions of marketing intermediaries, or the primary function of distributors that you will need to know, okay. Got it, guys? So far we have already looked into what is distribution channels. They are the middle person. We already look at distribution channel, the flow from manufacturer distributor to the retailer. They break down the bulk, they give to retailer will sell it to consumer in a desired amount. And then we looked at 4 importance of distribution channels, and then we looked at types of distribution channels. There are 3 types. And then we looked at some of the important words that you will need to know, but the most important is wholesaler, retailer and distributor. And then so far we already looked into the 3 primary functions of distributors, which is important for you to know. Okay, the next one we are going to look into the channel membership, or another name for it is channel intensity design decision. Okay, pay close attention. You might have already gone through, or you might have already learned this in your previous chapter. Let's say if you would have taken introduction to business, then you might already be exposed to this particular session. So when I explain to you, try to recall all the information that you learned before this. Okay, let's just make it as a refresh session. So there are 3 type of distribution intensity or distribution channels that we're going to look into. Okay, let's look into the intensive, or I'm going to start from the exclusive distribution. Okay, let's go from right to left. Okay, let's look into exclusive distribution. So exclusive distribution means where it involves a limited number of intermediaries that's handling a particular item. Maybe in that one geographical area you only have one distributor or one intermediary who's selling that particular product. Okay, this kind of distribution channels is being used when the firm wants to have more control in handling the product. They don't want a lot of people to sell their product, and they might feel that they lose the value. So what they will do, they want to have more control over the product. So what the manufacturer will do, they will only give license to maybe one distributor in that one geographical area to sell the product, to sell their product. And normally exclusive distribution will be used for exclusive products. Example, if you look at Mercedes-Benz, can you find Mercedes-Benz show house or showroom like in every corner of the town, or in a lot of places? I don't think so. Okay, because I personally have seen very limited Mercedes-Benz show house or showroom. Not show house, showroom should be the proper word. Okay, I've seen a lot of I've seen very limited number of Mercedes-Benz showroom. Maybe in that one geographical area you can only have like 1 or 2 only maximum. Okay, why they do this? Because it is normally used for exclusive dealing, where the retailers must not carry competing brands. So which means if you are selling Mercedes-Benz car in your distribution channel, in your showroom, you must only have, as a distributor, you must only have Mercedes-Benz car. You cannot sell BMW car in your showroom because you are already committed with Mercedes-Benz, telling that, hey, you see, in this one geographical area only I will be selling your product and I would not be selling your competitors' product. So there will be agreement between the manufacturer and also the distributor. Okay, so this is what exclusive distribution works. So by the name itself you can know exclusive distribution means done by the, or it is for exclusive product. Okay, next type of distribution channel is selective distribution. So selective distribution means it involves the use of more than few but less than all the intermediaries. Okay, put it in a shorter way for you. You will have more than two but not more than two or maybe less than four retailers in that one distribution or in that one geographical area. That is selective distribution, which means you have maybe about 2 or 3 or maximum 4 outlet in that one geographical area. This is selective distribution. So why normally business will go for selective distribution is because it enables the producer, the manufacturer, where they can gain educate market coverage with more control and less cost than intensive distribution. Because if you look at the last one, the intensive distribution, you have a lot of stores everywhere. Like in that one geographical area you can find like about 10 to 15 stores. But under the selective distribution, in that one geographical area, maybe you can just find about 3 or 4. Okay, let me give you an example. Do you all know Victoria's Secret? Victoria's Secret, I think maybe ladies will know this better, but guys, you have to know also. Victoria's Secret, Sephora, okay, this kind of cosmetic, I would say cosmetic or a luxury brand, you can find like in that one geographical area you can find few outlets. Like if you see in this all of JB area, like Victoria's Secret, you can find in JBCC, you can find in yes, Jasco Tebrau, Aeon Tebrau, and I think another place is I think Johor, no, the Sogo, I guess. I think about 3 or 4 only you have in this Johor area, Victoria's Secret. So you see they use selective distribution where they only give the license to few outlets only to sell their product. Okay, that is selective distribution. Okay, and the last one is, as I mentioned just now, intensive distribution. So intensive distribution, you have like a lot of stores in that one geographical area. A very good example for that, okay, maybe which example I can give to you? Let me just take intensive distribution. Okay, Coca-Cola. Let's take Coca-Cola. You see, in every corner of the shop or every corner of the area, there will be at least one shop which sells Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is using intensive distribution because they want to reach wider target market and they want their product to reach every level. If you look at exclusive distribution, they will have their level of customers that they want to reach, normally will be high end customers. Selective distribution, the middle level customer, whereas intensive distribution, they want to reach all level customers, so their product can be seen like in every corner of the geographical area, for example. So that is intensive distribution. So where normally companies that opt for intensive distribution, they want to expand the number of levels, okay, they want to expand the control, okay, and the service level and the retail price. So if you look at intensive distribution, products price, normally it will be cheaper, normally where the consumer, a normal consumer or normal households can buy. Okay, that is intensive distribution. Okay, and normally intensive distribution, they will have great demand among the consumers. Okay, and it is easier to get consumers can easily access to products under the intensive distribution. Got it, guys? So these are the three channel intensity design decisions that you need to know. I'm sure those who have already taken introduction to business, you would have already learned all these three terms. So use this opportunity to recall those information back. Okay, guys? Okay, so far we have already looked at certain parts. Okay, and we have already looked into the channel membership, the three types of distribution channel. So with this, I'm going to end the first session. So after this, you're going to answer this question as the tutorial for your first session. So this will be your tutorial 5. Okay, tutorial 5 first session, maybe tutorial 5.1. okay, I'm not going to post these tutorial questions on your island in a separate file where you're going to look into this and you're going to answer that. So I'm going to create the thread for you to answer the tutorial 5.1. Okay guys, that's it. I'm ending this video, and let's just wait for the next video for our next session where we're going to start with why are there marketing intermediaries. We're going to look at the types of intermediaries. Okay, there will be a lot of terms for you to learn under the next session. So with that, thank you, see you.